Alright, what is up everybody? Welcome back. Been a while since we've posted a video here, but you know, it's already summer. We're back, hopefully. We say this all the time, but hopefully more of a consistent schedule is about to come. Today, previewing UFC 303, huge card, International Fight Week. We got 4 good fights to look forward to. Well, I mean, obviously more than that, but there's 4 that we're going to be previewing. So with that, let's jump right into it. First one, Ian Garry versus Michael Venom Page. Now, this is an interesting one because the striking is really close, but for my prediction, I'm going with Ian Garry. I hate it. I don't want Garry to win. I'm a far bigger fan of MVP than I am of Ian Garry, but I think MVP is gonna get clipped. Like, he just has that ability to get a little too creative with the striking, try to show off a bit too much, while Ian Garry doesn't take nearly as many risks. So I just think that he's gonna be very careful with it. Just gonna outstrike him, maybe take him down a few times. I think Ian Garry by decision is the pick here. I don't like this pick. I'm gonna be cheering for MVP. I think he's the more exciting fighter, but no, I just don't see MVP winning this one. Next fight is going to be Anthony Smith versus Roman Dolidze. Now, Anthony Smith, the king of delusional takes. Whenever I think I'm being delusional, I just listen to an Anthony Smith interview. But with this fight specifically, I actually think he's got this. Yeah, Roman Dolidze coming up from middleweight. Not even a big, like, middleweight in particular, to the point where I think he'd be that good at light heavyweight. And with Anthony Smith, I think he just has to take him down. If he can take him down early, I think there's a submission there. But yeah, Anthony Smith, he thinks he can beat Alex Pereira. I think he's delusional I mean, you gotta be confident. I know I'm saying all these things, but you gotta be confident in your abilities. But yeah. Of all the things Anthony Smith could possibly do, beating Alex Pereira, don't think that's one of them, not gonna lie. But honestly, this was a really smart move by the UFC to put Pereira on this card, knowing Anthony Smith. Yeah, I think Anthony Smith was already booked to fight. Or was he? I don't even know. This fight started with Hill Roundtree. Then Roundtree had to pull out, so it was Hill, Olberg. Then Hill pulled out, it was Olberg Smith. And then now Olberg pulled out, it's Smith Dolidze. Fight's been changed a million times. I don't know exactly what was the order. That Connor Chandler was off at one point, and that's why they put in the main event of Yuri and Pereira. I've lost track of the order, but either way, really smart move by the UFC to put Alex and Smith on the same card. At the press conference, I just watched it. I thought they'd talk a bit more. Surprisingly, very little was said between the two. I think Smith brought up Pereira's name once. I don't think Pereira brought up Smith at all, which was interesting. I think the UFC should focus in on this. I think they should actually try to build this matchup between Smith and Pereira. If both of these guys win their next fight, also, I'm not saying that Smith would be deserving of a title shot after wins over, who was it, Vitor Petrino and now Roman Dolidze. But if you need someone to fight for the title and you need an opponent for Alex Pereira, Anthony Smith could be a fun fight. The build-up would be fun. The fight won't be competitive. I don't think it will be. But the build-up will be fun. And I think that's the most important part. Getting the fans intrigued and getting the fans, you know, something to get excited over. So I think Anthony Smith, he's going to get this one done. He's going to submit Roman Dolidze in the first round. Take him down, submit him right away. Roman Dolidze, not great, I must say. He lost to Marvin Vettori, who's just all around mid. So coming up in weight, especially after losing to Imavov not too long ago, I don't see him getting this one done. I'm actually wondering who the favorite for that fight is. It doesn't say here on the UFC website. I'm interested to see who it is. But yeah, I just think Smith grappling is going to be too good. He's going to take him down, submit him. That's his only chance. Honestly, if Smith can't take him down, I think this is Dvalishvili's fight to lose. But with this one, I just see a simple outcome. Alright, next fight is gonna be Diego Lopez versus Brian Ortega. This one, I'm feeling confident in. I think Diego Lopez is knocking him out early. First round, knockout. I think Ortega's gonna go for some sort of takedown, try to see if he can grapple with him. Both of these guys, obviously very high-level grapplers. And I see Diego Lopez just catching him with something. The power that Lopez has at 145 is ridiculous. He touches, like slightly grazes the chin of his opponents, and they go out. Sadiq Yusuf, yeah, you could say he doesn't have a great chin. Diego Lopez didn't even land clean on him. He hit him with a few shots out of the clinch. Same thing with Pat Sabatini. Couple shots out of the clinch, down, and he jumps on him and knocks him out. Ortega, he has a good chin, and he has good cardio, but I don't know if he can take the power of Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez is truly one of the more interesting fighters I've ever watched. It's almost like Pereira, where Pereira doesn't even have to hit you clean to land the knockout. Same thing with Diego Lopez. Like, he just hits you and then he jumps on you and you can't do anything about it. The pace, the pressure, the non-stop shots. And then you want to take him down. You see what this guy did in his first ever fight on short notice against Movsar Evloev. He was getting gassed a bit by the end, but he was very much surviving in those grappling exchanges with a very, very high-level grappler such as Evloev. The only concern is if he can't get that knockout early and the fight goes into the later stages. Obviously, someone with the gas tank of Brian Ortega and who has the experience over Lopez. As soon as it gets into the later rounds, I'm pretty sure this is a 3-round fight. I don't think it's a 5-rounder. But if it is, that just favors Brian Ortega more. But either way, I don't see it even getting to that point. Diego Lopez first round KO. Make it happen. And now the main event, the rematch. Alex Pereira, Yuri Prochazka. First fight between them. Early stoppage, yeah. Yuri was winning, and then Alex just landed that left hook, followed up with the elbows. Early stoppage, but Prochazka was going out. I think Goddard jumped on it a bit early, but had he waited a bit longer, I think the outcome would have been the same. The question here is who makes the better adjustments, because with Alex, he was undoubtedly down in that fight. I mean, it only lasted a round and change, but for however long the fight was going on, Yuri was the dominant one. And won the takedowns, yes, but I feel like Pereira's had all this time. He's worked on his takedowns a bunch, or rather on his takedown defense, and on his ability to get up if he does get taken down. But even still, Yuri was landing good shots on the feet. The thing that I think cost him, number one, the leg kicks. Alex was landing those way too easily. And as we saw in that fight and in Yuri's last fight against Rakic, he doesn't take those leg kicks very well. Like that Rakic one, he pulled that one. I don't know where he pulled that one out of. But he just summoned the spirit, which is weird considering all the things he's been saying about Alex Pereira lately. But anyway, who makes the better adjustments? Will it be Alex with the takedown defense? Or will it be Yuri with the leg kick checking and just overall not leaving himself so vulnerable to getting kicked in the legs? If Pereira lands something clean, can Prochazka take it? And Prochazka has a tendency, we've seen it in the Volkan Oezdemir fight, where he was at one point blocking punches with his head. Can't be doing that against Alex Pereira. I don't know how he did it against Volkan Oezdemir, but against Pereira, can't imagine it's much better. Overall, close fight. I think, especially with the new gloves, which haven't been looking promising, I must say. I think this fight's going to go on a bit longer. Late stoppage for Alex Pereira. late stoppage. I think Yuri's going to be a lot more defensively sound. He's not going to try to brawl like he maybe did in his last 2 fights. I think he's going to be more aware of the power that Pereira brings. And I just see him fighting a smarter fight this time. But overall, you have 5 rounds. Pereira has 5 rounds. All he needs to do is land 1 punch. And while PROCHAZKA also has ridiculous power, I don't see it being on par with Alex Pereira. Especially given how Alex, even though Alex fought at middleweight, I'm pretty sure he's the bigger guy. At middleweight, and that's the only time we've seen him get KO'd in his last fight there against Izzy. He was depleted. Making 185 was just ridiculous for a guy his size. So I think his chin is far, far improved than what it was at 185. While Yuri, being a smaller guy, I'm not sure if his chin holds up the same way. Especially after being knocked out against Alex and all that damage he took against Rakic. I think eventually Alex is going to find his chin the way he normally does. Might not be early, like he usually knocks people out early, like Strickland or Hill or even PROCHAZKA himself. But I think he'll find something late. He's got 5 rounds to do it. So yeah, I'm picking Alex Pereira. So yeah, those were my predictions for UFC 303. Drop your predictions below. Tell me what you think of this video. Hopefully, yeah, more content coming this summer. A lot of good fights coming up. A lot of things to be excited for. Also, hockey. We had the awards today, but overall the draft Friday and then free agency. A lot of things to be excited for. Well, we're going to be covering a bunch of things. Streams coming back, of course. And great to have you here for the ride. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.